Hi, Democrats. Today is Thursday, May 11th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Thursday. So today I want to first, I want to congratulate Minority House Leader Cindy Munson. She received the governor's commendation. This is May, which is AAPI Awareness Month, AAPI History Month, AAPI Legacy Month. And the governor acknowledged through a commendation House Minority Leader Cindy Munson for being the first Asian American female elected to our state legislature. So congratulations, Rep. Munson. That's a really great thing. We have known you were great for a long time. It's about time that the governor has recognized you. So that happened today. So that's the good news. So I want to do a little bit of a history lesson today, just a little bit of a history lesson today. I am a nerd when it comes to problematic history because my brain just wants to know why. I spent an entire day in the Holocaust Museum, weeping and wailing and just amazed. And it's one of the seminal experiences of my life. It's, problematic history. It just fascinates me because I do not understand.
517,000 jobs were added.
Wow. Yay, the jobs report. I do not understand how thinking, compassionate people let some of the things that happen in our history happen. But today I'm not going to talk about the Holocaust. I'm going to talk about the United Daughters of the Confederacy. Oh, look, he has a picture. So the United Daughters of the Confederacy. It was founded in the 1890s after the Civil War by busybody women who wanted to rewrite history so that their fathers and husbands didn't come out as the villains. I'm sure that there's a nicer way to say that, but to me, that is what happened, right? In the 1890s, they formed this organization. To rewrite history. The Civil War was no longer the Civil War. It was the war of Northern aggression. It was no longer about maintaining slavery. It was about states' rights. It was no longer brother, all this stuff, right? And it is 2023. And on a bad day on Twitter, or maybe just a regular day on Twitter, there are still people who are using these terms. But what they did was, that's what they decided they were going to do. They rewrote history books. And donated them to the school systems so that literally kids were being indoctrinated with revisionist history. They're the ones who raised the money for the Confederate statues that have been being taken down over the last decade or so. It was the United Daughters of the Confederacy. There was a concentrated, deliberate, long-term plan to rewrite history. And it was government and state sanctioned. Textbooks, they were the books in the schools, and that's what was being taught to students. So why am I talking about that today? I'm talking about that today because there is a push to let the superintendent of public instruction be the architect of the history of Martin Luther King. I don't really have words to say, so that's why I wanted to come up with a history lesson, because what the heck? That we would let this guy who the only thing he focuses on is anti-DEI, and we're not going to indoctrinate, we're not going to make kids feel bad, and we're not going to teach full history. And he wants to be the architect of the history of Martin Luther King in our nation. Stop it. Stop it, and then after that, quit. And then last night, the last president was on CNN. Now, there's a whole history, and I could take a whole hour to talk about how problematic that was. It's as if, well, it is the whole reason for the history lesson. If we don't learn from our history, we are doomed to repeat it. But that's just barely history. In 2015 and 2016, well, really all the way up until like yesterday, the press has given too much attention to the last president. The last president demonstrated that he had no relationship with the truth. The last president demonstrated that he will rewrite history before your very eyes, that he will make sure that everything fits his narrative. He lost a civil case, a civil court case. And then 24 hours later, he is on TV acting like it wasn't what it was. And CNN aired it. Like we didn't forget. We got to January 6th because I don't like to call them media. I'll call them TV stations and newspaper circulations. I don't necessarily want to call them newspapers, but because the media in general gave him a platform. Every time he wanted to say something, they let him say it without fact checking, without limiting, without pushing back when he was saying things that we knew to not be the truth. And here we are again, as if it didn't happen, as if we have not learned the lesson. We need to stop giving him the airways to tell the fabrications that he chooses to tell. A court said that he was liable for sexual battery and defamation, and that the plaintiff was awarded $5 million. I'm not going to get into all the rest of it, right? That is what happened. That is a thing that happened. But to hear him tell it, that's not what happened at all. It was a thing to joke about. And CNN aired it. And Ryan Walters, writing the history of Martin Luther King Jr., that sentence should not be a sentence that anyone says out loud. It feels like we learn none of the lessons we are meant to learn. That's why we have to be forever diligent, making sure that the people we know the truth, pointing them to links, pointing them to sources, making sure that they can do their own research, making sure that they don't have to take your word for it. Make sure that they know where they can look up. When I tell you guys about bills, I try really hard to give you bill numbers so you can go research it and understand it for yourself. That's what we have to do, because our current government in Oklahoma is trying to gaslight us and tell us up is trying to gaslight us by telling us by only accurately reporting only telling the history of some folks that we're going to make Oklahoma better. That's what's happening. We have to stay vigilant. We have to stay vigilant. Each year, there's an assault on education in our state. Each year, there's an assault on pick an underrepresented, marginalized class, and our legislature is going to have a bill to attack them each year. We as Democrats need to stand against it. We need to be loud. We need to make sure that everybody knows what they are voting for. We need to make sure that everybody votes and that they're informed when they vote, that they're registered when it's time for them to vote. That's what we have to do. That's why we have to unite. This seems all scattered, but it is all related. It is all about, we have to be vigilant about making sure that people understand what is happening in our state legislature. Be vigilant to make sure that people understand that there are people who got elected in our state who are trying to take us back to a place where not all of us have an opportunity for the American dream. Not all of us have an opportunity for economic opportunity. Not all of us have an opportunity to to get the best education for our kids, regardless of how much money we make. That's what's happening in our state, and that's what we have to fight for. So here I go with my plug again. This Saturday, Congressional District 1, which is mainly Tulsa, part of Wagner, part of Rogers County, a little bit of Creek, are having their convention to elect the leadership in that part of the state. And then on June 3rd and 4th, we as a state all come together and we elect a leadership for the Democratic Party for the next 2 years. We update our rules, we update our bylaws, we update our platform, what we stand for. We are all coming together to do that. And I encourage you, whether you're a delegate or not, to come witness the process, see how we go about doing what we do, become a part, sign up, join. Buy tickets to the dinner and listen to former Congressman from Texas, Beto O'Rourke. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be educational. I hope that you can join. That's June 3rd and 4th, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Go out to okdemocrats.org. Look at the schedule that we have. It's a star-studded schedule. We're bringing in tons of speakers from all over the nation. This is the time to rebuild our party. We saw what the Republican Party did in our state. They've just decided to go all the way off the deep end into extreme radicalization. This is our opportunity to double down on improving Oklahoma. That's what we're going to do. That's June 3rd and 4th. All righty, there's a whole bunch in the chat about the candidate forum this evening. There will be a candidate forum this evening on the OK Democrats Facebook page and the OK Democrats YouTube page for the candidates who are running for state chair. I'm one of them. So if you have questions, you want to see what the plans are, come join us there. That's this evening at 6 p.m. on OK Democrats YouTube page and OK Democrats Facebook page. Hope to see you there. You guys have a good evening.